Welcome to the YouTube, everybody. We're going to talk about authority today. Today, we're going to talk about authority and the weight of your authority. And as always, remember, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So what does the word authority mean? Well, authority comes from the word author. And author means creator, father, the one that brings forth. Okay. It also means ruler, and ruler means lion, and rulers, outside of the concept that you probably have in your mind now, ruler is, there are many types of rulers. There's a king, there's a president, there's a mom or a dad, there's an uncle, there's a teacher. But then we have a ruler called a yardstick, a compass, a protractor. You have thermometers, all these different measuring tools, these gadgets that are used to measure where you exist on any certain type of level. So, for example, if somebody says you have a weak mind, then somehow they are measuring you with some tool. And if you can be measured, then that means you can get stronger, you can get better, or you can get weaker, or you can get worse. That's just how it is. Authority, first and foremost, comes from your name. Now, I know this might spark some, debates or arguments or emotions about leadership. And we will talk about that in just a bit. But this is really, it's not about leadership, and it's not even about your emotions. This is about authority. Who has the authority? When does the person get the authority? First, it starts off by your name. And how people address you propagates what your level of authority is. So, for example, your boss at work, if you have a 9-to-5 job, your boss at work might tell you, don't call me by my first name. We're not friends. You're my employee. Call me sir, Mr. Woods. Don't call me Kyle. Okay. If any of the other employees hear you call me Kyle, then they might get lax at work. They think that they might be able to cut corners, not do the job as intended. Now we have a bigger problem in the workplace. Authority starts with your name. A good name will last forever. When you talk about spirituality, the art of breathing, one of the most influential names that we have that we all have heard is Jesus. Okay, Jesus. Another very, very influential name that we all have heard of. And influential does not necessarily mean good or bad. It just means that their pattern of breath has carried on throughout the time that humans have existed. Another one is Jezebel. Jezebel is a name that we all have heard of. And if you've read the Bible at all, you've probably at least heard of the name Jezebel. Nobody really wants to be around Jezebel because Jezebel's evil. Now, the name, if anybody comes up to you and your mom or dad did not label you as Jezebel, then if I call you Jezebel, you might get offended. If somebody else hears me call you Jezebel, they might understand, hey, don't go around that person. Don't go around that person. She's not a good person. Kyle called her Jezebel. So this is just an example. So your authority begins with your name. Your name is an indication of what purpose you serve. This is why your first and last, your last name actually meant something back in the day. Now it doesn't mean anything. It almost doesn't. You can go to the courts and change your last name. If you're upset with your father or your mother, you can go to the courts when you're 18, 19 and change your last name. But back in the day, if you were my son, you would be, let's say you're Kyle Jr. You know, you're Kyle of the Woods family. Okay, you are Kyle of the Woods family. And the name, of course, you know, it was tied to your profession. Okay, you were Kyle, the carpenter of the Woods family, or you were Kyle, the swordsmith of the Woods family. You were Kyle, the nurse of the Woods family. And that like names really meant something. But spiritually still, they mean a lot. Your name means a whole lot because when God calls you, you'll know he's talking directly to you. Jesus. So, author, authority, the weight of the person in front. You know, authority exists in both the leader and the follower. Okay, if you hold a position, period, there's authority that you have. Okay, and authority meaning you have the ability to measure things. You have the ability to say this is right, this is wrong. You have and maybe, let me just, because my brain's getting too far ahead of me. Let's say you're 3 years old. Okay, you are in my family. You are my son. You will be able to say, I don't want to play with this toy right now. I don't want to play soccer. I want to play football. Okay, go play football. If you don't want to play soccer, go play football, son. That's what you want to do. Okay. I'll be watching. I'll be protecting you. Okay. When you so your ability to exert authority is when you are shifting the game. Okay. But authority has boundaries. Okay. And it's based off of your position. So if you are my son, your authority is not telling me what to do. That's just not that's not right. If you are a stranger to my family, your authority is non-existent. You're out of order. You don't have a place here. So position is indicated by authority, or position is indicated by name. Your name and position give you a certain type of authority. Your mother, if you are my son, still cannot tell me what to do. If I'm the head of the household, still cannot tell me what to do. She can make suggestions. She we can have cordial conversations, friendly, loving, all that stuff. But the decisions are mine. And different leadership styles have different types of positions. Okay. Don't think that if you exist in a dictatorship that you have the authority to make decisions. Or if you are the man of the house, don't think that you have the authority. If you are the man of the house in the leadership style called laissez-faire, which is let them do, don't think that you have any decision-making ability, because in that leadership, in that leadership style, it means let them do, meaning the bottom makes the decisions. And you don't even necessarily have to decide on what leadership style you have in your house. How do you guys act? Do you take orders from your wife? Do you take orders from your husband? Do you work together? Do you have to feel heard as the woman so that you have a sense of, belonging? If that's the case, then maybe democracy is a good type of leadership that you might exist in. Now, learning the leadership styles is key. You need to understand the leadership styles. But where people get authority mixed up is they trespass, okay? Uninvited authority is called trespassing. If you tell me what to do on my platform here on YouTube, Kyle, you should always wear a hat. You will wear a hat every single YouTube video. I know you don't have hair on top of your head, but you will wear a hat. That is trespassing. You are stepping into a place where you don't have a position and you don't have authority. You're out of order. Okay? And God is a God of order, not disorder. Another example of disorder, especially in the house that I hear all often, is, put the kids first. We want to put my kids always come first. They come before me. Well, I learned in elementary school that the person in front is always the leader. So if your child is in front, then your child is effectively leading. And it often shows inside of the household. The man is emasculated. The woman, often thinks that she's running the house, but really is being led by the needs of the child. So you plan vacations when you don't have money to. You ruin bonding time between the husband and wife because the child after dinner asks for a snack. These examples are real life because you want to have your child lead instead of you as the adults. There's no order. You're out of order. And then chaos ensues. So authority, right? Order in the house, right? Christ, man, woman, child. But authority in the house exists on all levels. Of course, the man has authority. He has a type of responsibility, freedom in that responsibility. I guess I can say authority is made up of three things. Okay. Freedom, responsibility, accountability. That's authority. Okay. But it's position based. Freedom, accountability, and responsibility. Your authority increases and decreases on those three levels at the same rate. The more freedom you have, the more accountable you are. The more accountable you are, the more freedom you have. The more freedom you have, the more responsible you are. Okay. So it works down from your child to your wife or the woman to the husband or to the man. Okay. Or to just you as an individual. If you're single, right? If you're not married, that's fine. You still have authority. And this is for everybody. If you don't have purpose, then you don't have position. Okay? If you are not operating in your purpose, the one that God gave you, then effectively you don't have a position. You're just floating. You're a wandering star. This is why when you are outside of your purpose, you are in the system called misery. And misery is the devil's playground. You'll experience all types of weird stuff over there. I sincerely hope that you get back into the place called joy, where God is. Okay, purpose. Now, Authority, okay? Authority is, I guess you can say it's stovepiped. It's selective. Like you're, and I already kind of spoke about this a little bit, but your child has authority over his toys. Your wife has authority over the culture in the house, meaning the food, the music, and the art. Okay. What tone is being heard in the house? Most houses don't play music. Most houses don't have family photos up. You don't, correlate any family reunions as the wife. You're not setting up for your uncle or your grandparents to come visit. You don't care about that. You only care about survival. So your house is only an extension of the office. As a husband, your authority is the entire house, but mainly your authority is provision, it's discernment, it's protection, it's guidance, it's pastoring. You as the head of the house, you're the pastor of the house. You're guiding the sheep. You're protecting them from the wolves. But I know it's not easy. So every level of authority comes with its own weight because of responsibility and accountability. Freedom, it feels so pleasing. Freedom is like, yay, I'm free. But then freedom without boundaries is like you jumping off of a cliff. Yeah, you get to experience the bliss, but like you jump off a cliff, but with no parachute. The boundary is the parachute. It saves you. It corrects you. It makes sure that you don't fall too fast and surely die. Okay. Accountability and responsibility are kind of like that parachute. Okay. It must open. If it doesn't, you think freedom is everything that you can see. And that's not true. Okay. Authority has boundaries. But the weight of each exists individually. If you jump off the cliff, you let's say you have the parachute on your back, but it's not pulled yet, right? It's not open. So you jump, and what ends up happening is you try and pull, or you are accountable and responsible for opening your own parachute. If you don't, then you will die. That's the weight of authority. Okay. So the weight of the head of the house is to ensure the safety of the family, to ensure you receive inspiration from God to then translate, to then lead your family in whatever style of leadership that you have inside of your house. The weight of the wife is culture, encouragement, love in the house. The weight of the children is obedience, bringing joy to the father, bringing joy to the mother, seeing that your child is listening to your guidance, your advice, your opinions, your concepts. They're actually not only listening to them, they're obeying them, they're playing them out. That brings parents joy. And then in return, of course, grace, provision. Okay. Now, when you are learning to No, I'm not going to say that. The weight of authority is legacy. Okay. Bottom line, the foundation of this whole video, the weight of authority is legacy, even in your business. Okay. Your name in business, your position in business, the freedom, the accountability, the responsibility, the authority of your position in business is legacy. In your family, it's legacy. It's all about legacy. The weight of authority is your legacy. How will future generations remember you? Will they remember you? For most people listening to this, you will not be remembered. It's a sad truth. Even after listening to the value that I'm like in this video, you will not be remembered. Most people listening to this will not be remembered because you don't take authority seriously. You think freedom is the way. That there's no boundaries. You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Do what you feel. There's no rules that you really need to follow. So if there's nothing that you are following, like rules or regulations, even if it be from God, your name will be forgotten. You will be a wandering star in the perpetual darkness of infinity. Authority breeds legacy. And legacy is not, okay, let me be clear. Legacy is not emotions or good standing, right? Children hate parents sometimes. Sometimes a child will hate their parent all the way up until after the parent has died. It's true. The child sometimes will have so much regret after the parents actually died, and they wish that they would have opened up more, responded to the emails, responded to the phone calls, visited more. So the weight of each are experienced differently. For example, the weight of a wife, even if she doesn't even understand, even if you're a woman and you don't even understand that your responsibility in the house is culture. You bring the culture to the house, not the man. This is like nature, okay? This is like nature right here. Like if you invite friends over as the wife of the house and you don't have family photos up, you don't have music playing, the house is disorganized. There's no real like you didn't cook anything like snacks or any food for your guests. Innately, as a woman, you feel disgraced. You feel like, man, I should have planned better. That's an indication you know culture is your responsibility. I've seen many men, single men, in like my homeboys will invite me over to their house, right? What ends up happening is I walk into their house, it's bare in there. They don't care that they don't have family photos up. Their refrigerator is bare minimum. It's because men are not really ashamed of not having culture outside of like the woman. They just want the bare necessities, a TV, internet, food, water, somewhere to cook their food, and they're pretty much good. A closet. They're pretty much good, okay? Culture is not for men, but combined, the protection and the culture, it works together. When a woman or wife invites somebody over and they have not prepped their culture in their house, they feel disgraced, ashamed. When a man invites somebody over to his house and everything is out of order, the kids are running around in diapers, your wife is walking around with her bonnet on or her booty shorts on, like regular pajamas, her hair's not done, she's not dressed, it really sets a precedence that you're not running your house. You're not the head of the house. It's disorder over here. It's a free for all. This will put the man or bring the man shame. Okay, if his house is not tidy, at least in order. It doesn't need to be super immaculately clean, but like in order. Do you have a pot roast out on that's 3 weeks old that's sitting out on the counter? Pizza boxes all over the place. It will bring you shame as a man, and you know what I'm talking about. Now, both of these examples are just indications that we experience authority, the weight of authority in different areas. Okay. Your children, if your child experiences, does not listen to you by saying, clean your room. You don't, as a father and a mother, you don't even have to say or spank them. Kyle Jr., I'm disappointed. I thought you were going to clean your room like you promised me. Now you're telling me that I can't trust you. If you as a father say that to your son after not cleaning the room, after y'all spoke about it, your son will feel the weight of authority. In his authority, he was supposed to clean the room. He had authority to clean the room. Okay. Now, sometimes there is what is called a transfer of authority. You will be able to transfer your authority. Of course, you have to communicate that. For example, if you tell your son, clean the room, you are supposed to clean your room by dinner time. Your son says, but Dad, I'm sorry. I have an essay to do. I have a science project, and I have, to do my laundry all by tonight. I don't think I can clean my room. Can you help me? Okay. That is called a transfer of authority. Of course, there's some possibilities of your, people being clever, lazy, getting out of things and lying about, stuff. Yeah, we get that. We're not talking about the outliers. Follow my example. Okay. A transfer of authority is possible. Now, if I don't clean my son's room after he asked me and I agreed to it, I will feel the weight of that authority. Okay. I will feel how heavy that is because it was on me. I had the responsibility. I'm accountable. And because I had the freedom. Okay. If I ask my wife to, hey, I'm low on funds this month. Can you pay the car note? I don't know, just example. And my wife says yes, but then she goes and spends the money on makeup, $1,000 on makeup. Now my car rent or note can't get paid. She will feel the weight of that authority. Okay, she will feel the weight of that authority. Authority has weight, but it's not only secluded for the leader. Okay, and remember, leadership is not only about the leader. It's about the leader and the follower, or the leader and the following, and how they all dance together, how they all relate together. That's all leadership is. Okay. So authority is three things: freedom, accountability, responsibility. Those three things create authority. Now, authority always aligns with God. Okay. If you are married, okay, Christ, husband, wife, child, in that order. Nobody goes left without. Christ, man, woman, child. We're all going outside. Okay. The order does not mean exclusion. It just means order. Okay. Being clean, order, tidying up. Okay. When you get advice from your husband and take it, that's order. Okay. Your authority exists with alignment with God because you are able to receive accordingly. Okay. You're in order. Okay. God, the one who writes, the Father, authority. Okay. And don't be overwhelmed with the burdens or the weight of authority. Remember, if God gives you a task, if God gives you the purpose, if God gave it to you, it's already done. You just need to step in it. Okay. You just need to step in it. Discover it. It's already done. It's already here. Like right now I'm creating a flagship course on mastering your imagination. And it's going to be my main course because all spiritual warfare happens in your mind. If you can't master your mind, you're susceptible to demons and demonic activity. Okay. Spiritual warfare. You master your mind, you master your life. Okay. So next, authority exposes you first. Okay. Authority exposes you first. Whatever position that you are in, your authority exposes you first. You are the leader in that position. Your child is the leader as the child. Now, he's not the leader of you, the father, or you, the mother. The child, when the mother and father leave the room, the child can get up, climb off the bed, play with the toys, watch TV, do push-ups, do homework. Like, there's freedom, okay? And that freedom is exposing. But don't be afraid of being exposed. You're designed this way, okay? You're designed this way. I believe in you, all right? Be sure to understand that I believe in you. And if you're gifted and fruitful, you have authority. If you're gifted but not yet fruitful, you also have authority. If you have a spiritual gift, you're gifted. But if you're not putting that gift into use, you're not yet fruitful. The seed has been planted, but you have not yet manifested that into reality. Okay? Check out the resources below, okay? Start with the gifted and not yet fruitful free lesson. It's another YouTube. It's a lot shorter than this one, but it's in the show notes, okay? If you want to quickly master your imagination, I have a mini course on mastering your imagination. I have the the spiritually disciplined leader mini course also down there. All right. I love each and every one of you. If you didn't know, now you know.